There is no shot.
Interesting.
I don't think
Interesting.
there's
Wow,
a
you're
shot of.
going that hard.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not going to do it, but I'm almost willing to bet my hair that it wouldn't happen.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Jace Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jace case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50-plus infections. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. That's Jase medical.com. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granato. Steve, happy Friday. We're here again.
We're here again, Stacey. We made it again. Another Friday here in the Yankees offseason. Thanks so much for clicking on the show here today, guys. Don't forget, we're still 5 days a week here, even in the offseason, until we tell you otherwise. Of course, today we decided it was time. We finally took another break from baseball, so we're going to do that with the holidays here. We want to talk about Halloween. That's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Of course, we have a whole bunch of questions to get to every week, Monday through Thursday. You can send your questions on our YouTube side by replying to the pinned comment here on any video Monday through Thursday, and you could be a part of our Friday show. You guys dictate the show every Friday, and we love that you do it. Of course, let's go ahead and start with our YouTube community here today. Stacey, a little curveball, a little change up. Our first question today is coming from Vincent M. Durham, 1695, who has checked in before, asking us, do y'all think the Yankees signed both Cody Bellinger and Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Keep up the great work, Stacey and Steve. Thank you, Vincent, for your kind words and, of course, for your question. Stacey, we have dipped our toe in the Yamamoto stuff. We, before the offseason, dipped our toe a little bit into the Cody Bellinger stuff. Of course, we're going to dissect those, at least the Cody Bellinger stuff, a little bit more in depth once free agency actually hits. But just as a precursor to that, Stacey, the likelihood of both Bellinger and Yamamoto being a Yankee in 24, where is your head at in that regard?
There is no shot.
Interesting.
I don't think there's
Wow,
a
you're
shot
going that hard. Wow.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to do it, but I'm almost willing to bet my hair that it wouldn't happen.
Wow. What makes you say that? I'm legitimately, I'm not like playing this up. I'm genuinely surprised that you're that hard that both would be a no.
I think it would be one or the other. I don't think they would do both. I really don't.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So you think like maybe like if let's go on the camp of they go the Yamamoto route, that it's more a Kiermaier placeholder kind of situation?
Yep.
Wow.
That's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I'm again genuinely shocked that you would say that. I didn't peg you in that way. I thought you would have been. Yeah, I think it's possible because like I've talked about Cody Bellinger on a handful of occasions on this show, and look, he's got a lot of talent, and we know that. We clearly know that. We've seen it for a long time. It's a weird part of his career right now because if you are signing him long term, which it looks like potentially he wants to do. Well, of course he wants to do, but
Right.
like it might. What's what it might take. It is still a gamble, dude. Like, yes, there have been more good seasons than bad, but there have been more bad seasons recently.
Right.
So that's the tricky part of it here is finding the market on Cody Bellinger here this offseason is going to dictate, I think, a lot of how interested the Yankees are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if it's like a 6-year deal, that's going to be a real tough pill to swallow if it doesn't work out in year 3+. Because now here we go again. Remember, I've talked about the revolving door of villains in the Yankees space. It's Hicks. It's IKF. Now it's Stanton. Would Bellinger be that guy now? Rodon is now the revolving villain. There's always a revolving villain.
Yep.
So would Bellinger be that guy? And it's really hard to project him right now because he had a really good 23.
Sure.
But he had a really bad 22 and 21. I mean, like really bad.
Horrible.
Really bad.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like marginally bad. Like, oh, he was kind of bad. Really, really bad. And I feel like they need to look at those 2 years and measure them with 2023 and be like, okay, 2023 was good, but it's a possibility that he could be that bad again. And
yes, let's flat out say that, Stacey. That is very, very possible. As a fan of Cody Bellinger, I love watching Cody Bellinger play. I always have. Since he was 19, I've liked Cody Bellinger. But there is no denying that he very much can regress. There is no denying that. And I don't even know if you can go as far as saying like that's a stretch. I think that's extremely possible. And that would be a total failure on the Yankees front. Like it would be if they totally guess wrong. I think they're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't with Bellinger, right?
Yeah.
Because they clearly need a left-handed bat. They clearly need an outfielder. Cody Bellinger fills both those roles. He's a free agent, so you don't have to trade anything to get it. But it could be a nightmare. It just could, because the Dodgers had enough firepower to stick up with it for those 2 years, clearly.
Yeah.
But right now, the Yankees don't have that firepower to just eat that.
No, and that would just be after the Rodon signing and after Stanton falling off a cliff. I mean, Stanton could make a comeback in 2024, but if you have a Bellinger not doing well and a Stanton not doing well, with Rodon not completely rebounding in 2024,
it's
torches and pitchforks will be out by May.
They're already cleaning them up right now as we speak. They're waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah.
As far as both are concerned, I wouldn't put it past them to do that. I don't think I'm as hard pressed in the no camp as you are, Stace. But yeah, I don't know. I still think regardless is a gamble. I think if it's less of a gamble on Yamamoto, obviously without the major league track record, we've gone into depth in that. But yeah, it's I like your question, Vincent. It is a deep one because it clearly opens different cans of worms here. We will talk about Bellinger more in depth. We'll have a full episode eventually dedicated to Cody Bellinger. So to make sure to subscribe once free agency hits for that. Our next question is coming from our Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. If you want to guarantee answers to your questions, all you got to do is go to that episode description and hit that link down there that says join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a 14-day free trial when you click that link. So check it out. You also get a bunch of other perks. You can text Stacey. You can text me whenever you like, and we'll respond. We usually respond once or twice a day. So you can hear from us at least once a day. All right. So this question is coming from our Locked On Yankees insider, Eric, asking us, do you think Brian Cashman will have his freedom of operation curtailed by Hal? Stacey, will the reins be pulled on Cashman now moving forward?
No. They would have been already. I feel like it would have happened already. Also, nice use of curtailed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, look at that. The Insiders Club's got good vocabulary.
Nice.
Yeah. No, nope,
Mm-mm.
nope, no, and no.
Yeah. It's a big no.
No. Until I see anything remotely close in the other direction. No. Okay. Thank you, Eric, for your question. That's really all I have to say about it. That's really all.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the gist of it. I'm not going to beat around the bush for you, Eric. All right. Next one here, our last one in this segment. This is coming from Booyah Get Yanks on YouTube, asking us, what do you think of the MLB rules and what rules would you like to see next year? Stacey, I wanted to bring this one up because remember spring training 2023 when Steve was an absolute genius. Now he's an idiot. But when Steve was an absolute genius, going, in a week, we won't be talking about the pitch clock. Here we are. No one's talking about the pitch clock. I told you it would be a success, and it was a success. A massive success even, with some detractment. Some people obviously being more vocal than the majority, but loved all the MLB rules this season. I have no notes as far as changing anything that got added this season. I think everything works great.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to see changed in Major League Baseball at this point is to put a limit on the amount of time a replay takes. Whatever that limit is, there needs to be a limit. It's
there's
too
some
long
that took
sometimes.
way too. Oh yeah.
If you can't figure it out within 2 minutes of starting to look at it, or whatever arbitrary number you pick, then
don't overturn it and call it as it. Yeah,
stands.
Make it stand. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But was there anything you had of note, rules wise in Major League Baseball, either that you like right now or that you would like to change?
I don't think I really want to change anything. I agree with you about the replay thing though, because there's some times where it takes way too long and you're just, what are you guys looking at? Like, if there isn't a good angle, then, oh, well, there isn't a good angle, and just keep the call the way it is.
Yeah.
Maybe the extra inning rule. I still feel like
you're one of those.
No, I feel like they should wait until like the 12th. I feel like the Ghost Runner or whatever the hell it's called, the Manfred Man, should until the 12th.
12. That's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long time. That's a lot of pitching.
Because I still can't stand that rule. And the Yankees could have gone 8-0 in extra innings at home, winning every time. And I still would have, I don't know why I don't like it. I don't. Yeah. But I love the pitch clock. It's great. Didn't see any major issues with it either. There were like occasional things that happened, but there was no like really like decisive game altering things happening because someone forgot what to do. And I know some people like the length of baseball, but I kind of like the games being shorter.
Yeah, it's more action packed. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
And we don't have to stay up as late,
Nope, it's great. No notes. No notes. I love it. It's great. Don't change it. And then I'm in the camp of Ghost Runner. Don't change it. Sorry. Every league in North America has an overtime rule change. Baseball got theirs, and I'm fine with it. It's not in the postseason.
I'm saying it can still be there. I just don't feel like it should be in the 10th. Maybe the 11th. Maybe do one extra inning that's normal, and then put the runner in the 11th.
You just opened up a can of worm in the YouTube comments, Stace. You know you did that. You know you did
I know.
That. Okay, we're gonna step aside for a split second. When we come back, we have a couple more questions from our YouTube community, so stick around.
Everyone should be able to care for themselves and their loved ones no matter what. That's why our new sponsor, Jace Medical, offers the Jace Case. The Jace Case is a personalized emergency medication kit that contains 5 essential antibiotics that treat the most common and deadly bacterial infections. And now, Jace Medical offers customization for your Jace Case with dozens of add-on medications. Choose the medications that best fit you and your family's unique needs. Jace Medical also offers gift cards so you can grab one for your immediate family and your other loved ones so they can get a Jace Case of their own. Locked On Yankees listeners even get an exclusive offer. You can go to jacemedical.com and enter code LOCKEDON at checkout for a $20 discount on your order. That's promo code LOCKEDON at JASEmedical.com.
Back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, everydayers. Next week, of course, you guys already know, we've been talking about the postseason this whole run. So we're going to keep doing that. We're going to check in with Jordan Montgomery, see how he's done over the weekend. Of course, D-backs and Rangers start tonight. By the way, all 3 games in Arizona sold out by Thursday.
Nice.
Awesome.
They're excited there.
And that place is massive, dude. Chase is massive.
Yeah.
Massive ballpark. I was there for the WBC, and I've been there for a D-backs game when Paul Goldschmidt was still there. So been a while since then. But yeah, go Snakes. Okay, a couple more questions here today, Stace, on our Fanmail Friday. This one's coming from an old-timer, an OG of the Fanmail Friday family. This is coming from @Teacher Sama on YouTube. I completely agree with you guys on the not signing Soto train. But my question is, if they won't sign Soto, and I don't think they'll be going for Bellinger either, who's the 2024 left fielder then? Everson Pereira? Thank you, Teacher Sama, for your question. First off, I have a bone to pick with you, dude. I didn't say don't sign Soto. I said don't trade for Soto. There's a big difference there.
Oh, right.
We don't think the 24 team is going to be smart enough to trade for Soto and give up guys that might be a part of a 25-26 team. Right. But signing Soto in 25, now you have my interest. There's a difference there. So I wanted to make sure we got that out of the way right away. Yeah. But Stacey, yeah, I mean, without getting an outfielder, is Everson Pereira your starting left fielder on opening day? That seems like a bad move.
Yeah. Everyone's thinking about Bellinger and that option and other guys that they could put there, and then you forget about left field.
Yeah.
Because they don't really.
You can't go into the season with Pereira as your starting a left fielder. You just can't. He
Well,
didn't have
we
enough.
saw what happened this year with the revolving door of left fielders also. Like, they can't have another season of that either.
And years of revolving door, like not just, trying to figure out what's going to stick out there.
Yeah.
Look, I know left field is a little bit shorter of supply than center fielders in Major League Baseball, just as a blanket statement. It's hard for a lot of teams to keep a regular left fielder.
Do we have any former shortstops and second basemen that don't throw well anymore that can go to left field, like we did with Knobloch and who's it, Soriano, and who else did they stick out in left field? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, dude. I mean, look, I like Everson Pereira. I think he's got some decent tools. Is he going to be an impact Major League Baseball player in 2024? No, I would be very shocked. I'd be happy to see it, but I'd be very shocked if he were an impact left fielder in the big leagues in 2024. He was pretty overmatched when we saw him play. He obviously had that weird injury that happened at Fenway when he fell down some stairs. But yeah, I don't think the Yankees can go into spring training without signing somebody for the outfield. It's just too thin out there, because right now, if Judge gets hurt, then what? Right. That's basically it. It's like one injury from absolute nightmare. It's already at that level, but it's at the point where if one injury to Aaron Judge happens and say he's down for a month, the season is already being lost. So they have to get something for that outfield.
I would agree with that. That's
and they will. Scenario. They will. Like there's not two people who have a podcast can figure that out.
Right.
The Yankees front office knows they need an outfielder.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as much flack they get from our fan base and just the Yankees fan base as a whole, they're not that inept. They know they have to get something out there. And that's why we've been talking about Kevin Kiermaier for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just no way they can. That'd be insane. That'd be insane. Can you imagine we didn't do an episode on meet the new Yankees outfielder this offseason? That would be fireable.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Thank you, Teacher Simon, for your question. We have one more here today. This is coming from Angelo Reina 5336. This was about the Sean Casey episode we did on Thursday, saying there are many types of hitting philosophies. Wouldn't it make more sense to identify the correct hitting philosophy for a player instead of trying to adapt all players to one hitting philosophy? Thank you, Angelo. I like this question a lot. This is a very deep question. I really like it. And it made me think for a while. I read that and I was like, okay, let me ruminate on this for a second. And this is kind of where I've landed on it, Stacey. When we say hitting philosophy and we're talking about Dylan Lawson versus Sean Casey or whatever philosophy an organization has, they're setting a philosophy as a blanket to teach, let's just in this case say, the Yankee way of playing baseball, right? The Yankee way of playing baseball here is, in this sense, for Dylan Lawson, hard hits, high launch angles, and pull happy, right? That's like our organizational philosophy, and we're going to build our team around that and push that philosophy all the way through the big leagues, right? That doesn't mean every single player has to do that, right? There are obviously players where that is not their makeup. There are players who cannot be pull happy. There are players, because this philosophy plays to power hitting, right? Which they're trying to evolve to Yankee Stadium. The lines, especially left, or right, rather, ball flies, right? The short porch. So that's why they had that philosophy. Now, that doesn't mean every single player is going to follow that verbatim. There are guys where that's just not going to work. And that is clear, and they will make those adjustments. But it's more so the philosophy is a top-down approach to the Yankee way of playing baseball. But obviously, like, you're not going out there and telling Zach Greinke, our organizational philosophy is fastballs up in the zone that have to be at a spin rate of this. It's like, no, he doesn't have that kind of stuff, dude.
Right.
He's got to be more junk ball. And so that is kind of more so where we're at when we're saying organizational philosophy, hitting philosophy. That's more so what we mean.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Especially the pulling launch angle. That is more of a power hitter kind of thing. But it is funny that the philosophy was that. And then you think about the lack of left-handed batters in the majors.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at the roster, the makeup of the Major League club. Judge, yep. I like pull happy and hard hitting, high flying baseballs. Giancarlo Stanton's, yep, I like that. Anthony Rizzo, yep, I like that. Austin Wells, yep, I like that. Right, like those are the types of guys. Anthony Volpe, maybe not. Right, maybe not. Like yes, he's gonna run into him a couple of times. We saw that 20 times this year. He's gonna run into him, but as a whole, he needs to be more line drive approach. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
and they know that. They know that. Again, these as much flack as they get, they're not idiots. They're not. As much as you think they are.
I was going to say, as much as you say they are and think they are, they're actually not.
They're not. They know know at least a modicum of what they're doing, man. They didn't get here doing nothing. I just opened up a can of worms in the YouTube comments. Now it's my fault. All right, let's stop talking about baseball for a second, Stace. We've been talking about baseball every single day except for like 3 segments all calendar year. So when we come back, we're going to change up the pace. Something different. A break from baseball when we come back.
Do you like free food? Good. Now, how does free Thanksgiving sound? This year, Ibotta is here to give you cash back and make sure your Thanksgiving table is complete. Ibotta is an app that gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items from produce to personal care to pantry goods, and it doesn't cost a thing to you. Starting November 1st for the 4th year in a row, Ibotta is giving 100% cash back on your Thanksgiving feast. Just add the offers in the app to redeem for everything you need to make your Thanksgiving feast complete. All you have to do is shop at your favorite retailers and upload your receipt. Of course, you can also earn cash back on hundreds of online brands and retailers too when you start with Ibotta, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Download the Ibotta app and use code MLB to get 100% cash back on your Thanksgiving dinner starting November 1st. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app and use code MLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store and use code MLB.
Back here on Locked On Yankees. Thanks for hanging out with us here for a break from baseball. Look, we talk about baseball a lot here on the show, and everydayers are usually hanging out at this point anyway. Stacey, it's a Friday. We did our fan mail stuff. We talked about Sean Casey this week. We did all the baseball stuff. So you know what? For a few minutes, we're going to change it up. All right? Is that all right with everybody? Good. I'm just joking with you. Stacey, it's Halloween weekend. And I wanted to talk about Halloween. Halloween is huge for me. I love Halloween. It is, you know what? Halloween might be my favorite holiday, actually. I think now that I'm thinking about it. It's close. I'm a big fall guy. Love fall baseball. Love October baseball.
Yeah, I'm a fall person too.
I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving has been my favorite holiday for a very long time. I would say like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, but I think Halloween just leapfrogged over Christmas. You know what? I'm kind of tired of Christmas. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a kid anymore, so it's not as fun anymore. Right. You know. So, yeah, I think Christmas just too much stress, but Halloween, dude, I love costumes. I love dressing up. I love all of it. I'm not really like a horror, scary kind of Halloween. That's not really what I've ever really done. I've never really been on that camp, but I just love dressing up. I love making costumes. I love all that stuff. Where are you at with Halloween? Like, you in that camp, or where do you rank it? All that stuff. I want to know.
I was more into it when I was younger. There was kind of like a 10-year period where I didn't care for it. So I was like, I'm too old for this. And then I got back into it. But I always enjoyed, especially when you're a kid and your parents finally let you trick or treat by yourself and you get to go out with your friends, in like later elementary school, and you get that freedom to do whatever you want. And you can walk there's a main road above my house and it goes a mile into town, and they let me at 10 go all the way down to the end. This was before cell phones, all that stuff. So anything could have happened to me, but it was the 80s and my parents were like, you're fine. So yeah, I like Halloween, but and even though I don't have kids and, I'm certainly not near child age, I still love Christmas. I don't know why. It's not even like the presents and stuff. It's really the music and the decorating and just making your house look festive. That's what I like about Christmas.
Okay. I can buy that. I'm just personally over it. I ain't got kids either. I'm just done. this is not a hot take. I'm just sick of getting commercials November 1st. Like, I'm
Oh,
just
I know.
done
And
with that,
I mean, as
dude.
soon as it turns to midnight, November 1st, you're already seeing things mentioning the holidays. And
Yes.
it's like, what?
Yeah, car commercials alone. Like watching, like you guys know especially if you're hanging out still during this, you guys are probably everydayers and you watch at least a semblance of this show. You know my Lakers fandom and watching Lakers basketball, watching Ducks hockey, and I'm like, dude, if I see another freaking Kia ad with a bow on the hood, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. So like, at least take this weekend as a reminder, like, oh, at least there's no Christmas commercials right now. At least that, like, while you're watching the World Series, just remind us, like, oh, this is the last time for a
Yeah.
long time that I don't have to see a Christmas commercial.
Mhm.
But like I said, Stace, big costume guy.
Mm.
So tonight, if you're watching this outside of Locked On Yankees, I call play-by-play hockey here in Southern California. I cover junior hockey. I cover some high school stuff too. We're having a Halloween night at the rink tonight, and I'll be dressing up as Al Michaels during the Miracle on Ice game. So
Very nice.
I got my Al Michaels outfit. I got if you're watching on the YouTube side, I got my ABC microphone ready to go.
I love that.
And so I'll be doing that at the rink tonight. And then my regular costume, we're going out over the weekend. My regular costume is, I've talked about this once on the show and actually saw a comment about it. I saw you. I replied too. So if you're watching right now, you're going to get a kick out of this. I will be going as Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2 this year. We're going out over the weekend. My girlfriend's friends are coming out of town. Her birthday is also Halloween. So it kind of turns into like a whole weekend thing that we do. So she's going as Sadie Adler. I am going as Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. So I don't know if you're doing anything, Stace, but that's the plan. That's the Halloween plans this year.
Yeah, no, I am not doing anything this year for Halloween. I will just sit here and hand out candy to the kids that come by the house.
That's fun too. That's fun.
Yeah.
You just pop on like the Great Pumpkin. You know, I love watching the Great Pumpkin.
Actually,
I love
you know what
watching
I might
Hocus
do?
Pocus.
I might dress up as a person who actually leaves their house. I might actually put jeans on and like do my hair and answer the door like that and look like a normal. I'm going to dress like a normal human being for Halloween. That's going to be that'll be my costume.
That's real creative. Can you at least put the Great Pumpkin on? Like at least throw the Great Pumpkin on.
Oh yeah,
or something.
Yeah, I could do that.
You got to see Snoopy take on whatever villain in his airplane.
Yeah, that's one thing I miss about being a kid is the Halloween and holiday cartoon specials that used to come on. That was always fun, man.
Yeah. Are you in like the horror scary camp, or are you outside of that?
I was when I was younger, and 2 days ago was the 45th anniversary of the release of Halloween, which my mother took me to when I was 4. Don't ask why.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh yeah, it was great as a 4-year-old to watch Michael Myers. And I can remember where we sat in the theater. I remember what it felt like being in the theater because we were to the left. I just remember, yeah, I don't know. And then I was really into horror and like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that stuff when I was a kid.
Oh, you were like the perfect age for all of that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect age for that.
All the sleepovers had, even if it wasn't around Halloween, we'd have horror movies because that's the perfect time to have.
Oh yeah, you got to throw on Camp Crystal Lake. You gotta do the whole
you
thing.
have to scare yourselves while you're at a sleepover. And one time we were watching Amityville Horror, and my friend's father, at the very moment where George is looking out the window and the red eyes flash, he went boo. And when I tell you, I probably was on the ceiling, grabbing the ceiling. It was
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Halloween for the first time like 2 years ago. I'm not really a horror person, but I'd watched Halloween for the first time, and I was just watching and I'm like, the high school and all that stuff. I'm like, this looks like every school I went to. And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah, it was all filmed like right here. Like, oh, of course it was. Like in the middle of summer, and it's like they're trying to make it look cold. I'm like, every tree is green. This is terrible. This is low budget everything. It
took 17 days to make that movie. Like that's how low budget it was. And then all the money that it made, they were like, oh, well, let's make 10 more. Of course, it was spread out over the last 45 years, but yeah.
Let us know how you're feeling about Halloween. What are you going as? Are you guys still doing that? Are you still doing costumes? Are you crazy like me? Do you still dress up? I love dressing up. It's the one time a year I do it. Like I'm not doing cosplay all the time or anything. I'm not one of those people, which is cool too. But like that's not my world. But I'll do it once a year. I'll go all out once a year, which is keeps me young at heart, right? Let us know how you're feeling about Halloween. Of course, the World Series. Of course, that starts tonight. So make sure to watch that. Stacey, what's coming up next week on Locked On Yankees?
Well, coming up next week, you just mentioned the World Series. We will be keeping track, and obviously we will be paying a lot of attention to what Mr. Jordan Montgomery does. One, as a former Yankee, and two, just to see how he does. Because if my bold prediction comes true, I will be very happy.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. That's coming up next week. And of course, you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club to be texting with us about the World Series all weekend. Episode description. You guys already know about it. All right. We've talked your ears off for another week. That's going to do it for this Friday edition of the show. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We will see you on Monday.